Thank you very much, Your Excellency SKM, our host, the University Dons, comrades, colleagues, members of parliament, other invited guests. I will not attempt to be as fluent in Swahili as my good friend Mugisa will start laughing at me before we get to Thika. But let me give thanks to His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka for indeed inviting us to come and listen to the leaders of thought and research alongside the wise people. You know, I don't want to use the Bible. It says, when you say wise men, you include the women. I think let's agree they are wise people because they are of both gender. You know, the priest, the preacher, the gentleman who gave us the word. At some point, I thought he was pointing at me because he spoke about surrounding yourself with wise advisors. And because I'm not in a hurry. I know my two brothers may want to leave. Mimi najua. For those who understand Kikamba, Nemusi. In fact, across the main road, my brother Steve, I told you the other time when we were here, across the main road, I also have a small place where I could, if it got very late, and if Steve was to chase me out, I would just cross over and sleep. Kwa hivyo niko nyumbani. But the reason why I say I thought the preacher was addressing me is because something that I've told Kenyans in the past. And let me just repeat it so that you can see how it fits to what the world told to us is all about. Immediately, Kenya Kwanza took office. And, you know, I had gone to Kenya Kwanza, first of all complaining because those of you who drive on Thika Road, if you remember, there was a very huge post of myself, and there were only two words below my photograph, Kenya Kwanza. Little did I know that actually, I even know the person who actually did it. It is Wavinya's counterpart in Nairobi, Johnson Arthur Sakaja. He saw it and he quietly went and had it secured at the registrar of political parties' office. So when I was going there, they told me, no. I told them, why did you pick my slogan? They told me, no, it's this one. We already have, we have it under our name. So I didn't want to quarrel about nothing. But my main story is about when William Ruto became president and he was about to name his cabinet. We used to have several meetings. In one of the meetings, he told me that, you know, he likes calling me JB. You know, JB, I actually want you to be the Attorney General. You know, even as those of us who joined Ruto, we were saying we know him, Ben. We were saying we actually know him, but somehow there was an issue of we didn't know, we were not, actually I think we were not consultants. Maybe friends should bear the blame for not consulting some of us. Because we had had several meetings with my brother senior brother, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So I think the problem was just within what was then government. We were not consulted. So even as we were joining that Kenya Kwanza, we were saying we know this guy. So when he proposed that I become the Attorney General, I told him no. No, I can't. I don't want to do that. I told him, my only reason of wanting to be in government is only one, that I put in 15 years in the judiciary, served 8 years as a member of parliament, and now I've done 10 years as speaker. All I want to, ndio nisikie nimekuwa kwa serikali. Mugisa ukitaka kukosoa mimi baadaye. Is if I sit in the national executive. But I don't want to be the Attorney General. And the matter ended there. 2-3 days later, my good friend, who was not only my classmate but my roommate, the current Speaker of the House, the National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula, calls me to some place, and we go, and he tells me that, I have your message. I asked him, from where? He tells me, from the president. I asked him, which message? He told me, when he mentioned to you that he wants you to be the AG, you declined. So I asked him, so what is his message? He's pleading that you did accept to be the Attorney General. So I decided, since Moses is somebody we've known for each other for so long, in fact, I began my working career, I saw somebody talking about Kebabi. I know the villages around that area. So I decided, let me tell Moses the truth. So I tell Moses, you know what? The reason why I would not want to do that job is because you and I know this guy. To be an Attorney General with Ruto as president is an extremely dangerous experiment. So we talked with him. I told him, you know what? The AG's job is to advise. The other one of going to court, it's normal because you go in public interest. And there are so many state councils. But this one of advising, you must be clear that the person who you are advising also wants to be advised. And this is why I bring in the sermon. That, you cannot advise somebody who cannot accept advice or take advice. So, because Moses told me now that is hiyo ni kali, siwezi kumwambia hivyo, wacha nimwambie tu bado unakataa. So when we met later, again, ananiambia sijamalizana na wewe JB, unajua? Tukaenda, najua anakunywa chai mingi. Tukaenda, tukaketi tena, chai mingi. Then I decided, let me tell this guy the reason why I do not want this job. And I told him, you know what? As AG, I would date a situation whereby my advice will not be taken. Because I cannot advise in a manner that is inconsistent with the provisions of our constitution. And what I fear about you, now I told him direct, is that, I may give you advice which you may not like. Na tutekosana. What the guy told me? Exactly, JB, that's why I want you there. I want somebody who is firm and who is never shaken. Now, my friend Mugisa, kama mtu amekuambia ati hiyo ndio sababu anakutaka pale, so nikamwambia, if you promise that you will never interfere with my advice, my work as Attorney General, then you can go ahead and announce the cabinet. Because my stories are long, I'll not go beyond that. But you can see why this sermon I felt was quite appropriate. You must surround yourself with wise men, wise advisors. And also, you see, within the context of governance, people must appreciate the country, that the country is bigger or greater than any one individual. It does not matter. We've been told about issues about in fact, it's His Excellency who told us about the $1 people living below $1 a day. If that cannot concern you in leadership, such that whatever it is, whatever decisions you take are acutely informed by the desire to lift those that live below $1 a day in the country, then you are not worthy in a position. You cannot take oath in public. And of course, remember our constitution says the president must be sworn between the hour of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Wakili Dewanjiro. So you take oath in broad daylight to protect, preserve, uphold, and defend the Constitution. Among other things, also the dignity of the citizens. And then, soon thereafter, human life means nothing to you. Human life means nothing to you. That you watch human life being taken away. What they say in Kiswahili, again, kiholela. Surely. And you want people to keep quiet so that you can remain in leadership? I'm sure, my good brothers and sisters, you'll agree with me. When it gets to that, you must take a position. You must take a position. Because who is it you say you are sitting there planning for if these are the people merely for expressing their opinions themselves about the university funding model, about the high taxes? That becomes a reason why you will take away their lives? And I keep saying, I was lucky that I was able to run to William Ruto. I'll tell him, William Ruto, I sent you a message last night at 3 a.m. I told you my son was abducted. You have not responded. He says, oh, my phone crashed, there were too many messages. And then I tell him, and before going to him, I had tried to get to talk to anybody, including, I don't want to now, but our good friend from Dharaka, Kindiki, who was then in charge of Interior. And I fire you. Norma, see Norma. And he too had the audacity of replying to me that, no, I can tell you. Because I told him, Nuldin knows where my son is. And Kindiki called me twice. I told him, no, it's not true. I have spoken to Nuldin. Asked him, but Kindiki, if you have spoken to him, why is it that he cannot pick my calls? We sit together in the National Security Council. Why? I mean, does he imagine that it's not a love affair? Since last evening, I've been trying to call him and he cannot answer my calls. So I go, given that situation, Mugisa, I drove to State House and I told Kasongo, look, my son was picked, and then he's telling me, oh, my phone crashed. I said, no, just call. Call Nuldin. I'm standing next to him. And he calls Nuldin. He said, Nuldin, are you the one holding MUTURI's son? He said, yes, sir. Efandi, yes. Just release him. And Nuldin says it, and I could hear, Your Excellency, in the next 1 hour, you'll be at home. Surely. I imagine how many parents in Kenya have been agonizing to date. For some of them, we were with you, Wakil Njiro and Dan Manzo. Some of them they don't know where their children are. They disappeared without trace to date. They cannot reach William Ruto. I was lucky. I was able to reach him. But isn't it obvious? Does it require any dons? If he calls this one person and he tells him, release him, do we need to go out there asking who has been abducting these kids? I mean, and remember when he was challenged on 27th of December last year at Homa Bay by Raila, he said, I'm going to edit. Much later this year, at the visit, at the press conference they held with the president of Finland, in answer to a question by one of the journalists there, what did William Ruto say? All those who had been abducted have been released and taken to their homes. So Kenyans, do we have any doubts as to who is abducting? Because how would you release somebody whom you don't know where they are? I mean, it's obvious. And then when you turn around and purports to set up a committee, that reminds me, Council Njiro Ndego Njiro, the Latin maxim, Memo judex in causa sua. You cannot be a judge in your own cause. William Ruto, we have tremendous respect for Makawa Mutua. Makawa Mutua is somebody we respect. In fact, we were with him in the university. He was a year behind me. But surely, because we know people go through, tunaambiwa siku hizi kuna mwosho moja. I think Makao, my good friend, ameoshwa moja. Na hapo ndio shida ya Kenya imeanza sasa. Because it is not possible for you to say you are going to do a framework for compensating those who may have been injured or killed during the protests. It is not possible. I'm going to sit and I want to listen more to these great people, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Well done. Thank you. Umesikia jamba kabisa. Well, before I call Fred, I talked of building a team. One Kenya, one nation, one team. For one term. Sindio? So we cannot drive this narrative if we are going to have contradictions between ourselves. So our advice is to those working with us, those in the Wiper Patriotic Front, those in DCP, those in DP, those in Jubilee. By the way, I forgot to bring the greetings of Chairman wa Jubilee, Saitoti, Terome, also with us in the summit. So please assist us, Wakili Ndengwa Njiro. If you have any information about any of us, because we must always check with the principals. You know what I'm talking about. Today I'm supposed to be Kofi Annan between you and Fred, and also between Fred and our brother Ben Momanyi. when we go to Kisii, we start singing, tukipita Narok, ago, 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 ago. Beni Mamanyi, ago. We need to build one team. So that respect is so critical, so critical. Let's not begin to dismember our unity even before we begin. And building coalitions, I can tell you, is the most difficult thing. I tried to help President Tshisekedi and the advisor of Uhuru Kenyatta, who sent me there, as you know, Fred, and Kabila. And it took me 1 year to advise Tshisekedi to work with Kabila. And one time, Tshisekedi asked me, Kabila now wants to take. He says,